in the home kitchen, authentic naan, and butter chicken. You never seen like this before. All my life I've been told to make authentic Indian food, you need a tandoor oven, which obviously no one has. But after successfully making a skewered gyro cone on the grill without a spit earlier this summer, I now think I can figure out a hack to make anything at home, especially recipes that require annoying specialty gear. Cue Akshay, owner of Junoon and Jazba, two of the best Indian restaurants in the city. Together, we're gonna figure out a way to make two core authentic Indian dishes that are really only ever made in a tandoor oven at home without one. This is butter chicken and garlic naan. All right, we got a lot to get into.
Yeah.
But before we start clearing that up, we gotta make naan, right?
Yes.
That's the first thing we're gonna do.
I love it. All right, so for our naan dough, we're gonna start with some all-purpose flour, 2 cups.
Is this sort of like pizza dough in the sense that it's like arranged, or are you just looking for a certain hydration? Like, could you make it without measuring like a grandma could make pasta?
When you do your curries, you can totally do that, but I would say the doughs are the one thing that I try to not f with. When you do your pizza dough, everything is measured to the T, right? I'm guessing?
I mean, not really.
No?
If you want to be consistent, but like you can make a dough.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now we're just gonna add our yeast into this.
How much water do you need?
The water, I would start with like half a cup of water.
Warm?
Yeah, like room temp. All right, so we can put this in. This is a very basic version of the recipe. You could add like 1 egg as well as a little heavy cream and milk.
So this is a base. You guys can play around with it at home.
Just want to make sure everything mixed nicely. It's ready to go.
Yeah, it feels like a nice hydrated pizza dough.
Yeah, what did we do? We did 2 cups, a little less than 2 cups of flour, right? And then a little less than half a cup of
So
water.
it's not that exact science, but it's not like it's not super loose.
I'm gonna put a little oil around the edges. We can plastic wrap this. Beautiful.
Into the fridge or room temperature?
Room temp.
Yeah, room temp.
Very key, yeah.
Yeah.
15 minutes at room temp is good. If you want to keep it a little longer, that's fine. It's not gonna make or break, but I would definitely do at a 15-minute minimum.
What's next?
Let's marinate the chicken. We want to definitely get that marinated. So we use a different kind of yogurt at the restaurant. Whenever I get the Greek yogurt though, it's as close to that as possible. Like that's how you kind of want
Yeah, thicker.
You want that thickness, yeah.
It's like your ricotta. I just equate everything to Italian, so I just did that video at Jazba. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is like arancini.
16 different kinds of, yeah.
You want to see this video we just made together with Sal the Voice? I'm gonna leave a link down in the description.
We have the ginger garlic paste.
We don't have a paste, we have ginger.
Okay, we have, I would say like 1 clove of garlic, a little bit of ginger. As you do that, I'm gonna actually get a little more ginger for the sauce.
Just peel the skins off, and then we're just gonna mash them with some oil in a mortar and pestle. Now, do you want to clarify what tikka means? Because it might be confusing as like they think it's tikka masala.
Ah, yes. So tikka is just kind of translates to pieces, and masala really means just translates to like spices. When you say chicken tikka masala, you're saying like chicken, pieces, spices.
So tikka masala is more complicated in the sense that it has more ingredients, more spices, and butter chicken is just a simpler, unadulterated version of it.
Yeah, there are 2 different like countries that came up with these 2 different dishes. When you say like who were the inventors of chicken tikka masala, that's like a dish that was created in Britain in the 60s, whereas butter chicken was in the 50s or like 40s, definitely like a decade or so before. When butter chicken was created, pretty much you have butter, tomatoes, cream, and that's your essential, you know, part of the dish. In the 50s, you gotta remember also, you know, my grandparents lived there. I can tell you for a fact that like electricity goes down all the time. Everyone has a backup generator. So the dish, when they first created it, they took their chicken leftovers and then kind of came up with like this tomato gravy to go along with those leftover chicken.
It was built of scarcity and necessity.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
very Italian in that sense.
Yeah.
And so like, would you argue it's more authentic than people give it credit for in the world? Because the world, all I've ever heard is chicken tikka masala is like a fake Italian dish. I mean, a fake Indian dish.
Yeah. See, I mean, cooking at the end of the day, it's like built on emotion, what you know, what you learn, what you feel good about, right? Eating. So in my household, we've never called it chicken tikka masala. We'll always call it, like when we're cooking, we're calling it butter chicken, what my dad makes at home. It was never like verbally said, we're making chicken tikka masala. And I think that's because where they grew up, there was this Moti Mahal was there. Like my parents grew up where that dish was created. So for them, that was always what they were, you know, the verbiage was always that of this is butter chicken, this is more makhni. So yeah, that's I think where we're at. Right now, marination wise, you made a beautiful ginger garlic paste. This is a staple in every Indian household. 60% ginger for 35% garlic, and then you finish with 5% of neutral oil.
I did about 60% garlic, 30% ginger.
That's fine. Well,
I'm Italian.
it's gonna be great. I love garlic as well. I would do 100% garlic if I could. This is a little chili powder. So I'm gonna add a touch, and then we're gonna just add a pinch of this garam masala spice blend. You're gonna put a touch of oil in this, and then we're just going to, I need to put salt and lemon juice as well.
Salt right there?
Yep.
So you want it nice and thick.
You don't want it to be too liquidy. You can always put a touch of heavy cream to loosen this up.
Do we need to tikka the chicken?
Yeah, we gotta cut the chicken.
So here we have boneless chicken thighs. You suggested chicken legs, which is an option, but it's hard to cut through bone with a fork and knife, you know what I mean? Get the meat off of there.
That's your first mistake. We eat with our hands in India. Fork and knife is very foreign to us.
How big? 4s?
Yeah, you can do 4s. On the bone, prefer definitely legs. You get that dark meat. Yeah, it stays juicy.
Stay away from the white meat.
Yeah. Cooking the breast is very difficult. You're gonna get 9 times out of 10 an overcooked, dried out chicken breast.
What are you doing now?
I'm just gonna mix this up very nicely. Yeah, you don't want to see too much of like the actual chicken itself. It should be
Viscous,
coated.
thick.
All right. So chicken, you want to leave it really overnight.
We did that yesterday, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is overnight.
Now we've let the dough rest for 15 minutes.
Softer.
Softer, right? But I am gonna give this a little re-knead right now. I'm just gonna put a touch of oil. But you should see it's smooth now, right? Like,
Yeah, that's a pizza ball.
I mean, this could probably get you like 8, I would say. 8 balls.
How many ounces?
That's the key question. Let's get the scale out and see. Those are 100 grams, but I would say we can probably do a little smaller here for that, for the home. 70 grams. I think 70 is a good, because it is, 70 grams is good. You just want to kind of pull it up as such. You want to make sure that the back of the naan is sealed. Yeah. That's very important.
Same with pizza dough, same with pasta dough.
So as long as that's like that, that's perfect. And I would say you could even put a touch of flour on the bottom just to be on the safe side. There you go. And then just a touch of oil on the top, and we can just wrap that up and call it a day.
So chicken is marinated.
Yeah.
Naan is ready to be rolled out and cooked. We have our oven, right?
Yes.
Same setup for that we did for our Chicago pizza. We put our pizza stone on the top rack of the oven. Let this thing heat up for like an hour and a half till it gets like, the stone gets 500 to like 550. And then cook it right on the top with the broiler on to replicate the tandoor.
Theoretically, that should work.
Now all we have left is
the sauce.
The sauce, so take us through it.
Okay, so this sauce, I want to give a shout out to like the best Indian chef, factually, out there, Chef Manish Mehrotra. He opened Indian Accent, which is like a very legendary restaurant.
Where?
Opened like 15 years ago. The original one was in New Delhi. It made like the world's 50 best list, best restaurants in the world. We did a pop-up with him last year, and he showed me this butter chicken recipe. He said, I asked him, do we do cashews? What do we do? He was like, no cashews, nothing. We're gonna just cook these tomatoes in a pot, add in some ginger, a couple cloves of garlic, and some Thai green chilies, and then we strain it out, and then we finish with cream and butter. That is the traditional butter chicken Delhi recipe.
Sounds like tomato sauce to me.
He stands on business. I'm gonna go with what he does. So let's start with that. The tomatoes, we can just cut these 1 into 4.
Okay, now we have this chopped.
Yeah,
But why do
okay.
I have tomato puree?
Tomatoes don't necessarily have, over here, depending on the season, that like intensity of tomato flavor,
Well, that's
right?
why I always use tomato puree.
I want to see how far this gets us into that flavor of like the tomatoes, how intense it is. If it matches that
These
level.
are supermarket tomatoes. I assure you they're not going to take you far. So for the
Fantastic.
sauce, we've got
Yeah,
tomatoes.
1, 2,
We're
garlic.
gonna use a little bit of this.
Yeah, we'll need a garlic clove. 2 of these guys right here. Thai green chilies. So this can all go in the bowl together. Just want to take the stem out. That's it. And I peeled the ginger. I know I did. I don't know where it went.
I might have
Did you
thrown
chuck
it out. You're very willy-nilly.
I am.
I'm trying to figure out how to shoot you. Not to
Well, I
death.
got it on camera, so you guys know who did it. All right, so yeah, we have our ginger. We're gonna toss right in here. And then last thing would be just 1 garlic clove.
That was smooth as f.
It really was. Okay, great. So now we can pretty much, we'll get our pot going.
So next time you see us, we're gonna have butter chicken and naan.
We're gonna add a little butter now. I might just throw the whole stick in, to be honest. And when we add the butter, I do wanna put a touch of the neutral oil just to help out for it to not burn.
It's a lot of butter.
I got a little excited on the butter, not gonna lie. Now we're adding our tomatoes. We have our green chili, our ginger, and our garlic. I'm gonna add a touch of salt to this as well to help release that water content. Healthy pinch, very healthy pinch. Yeah, I think now I'm just gonna add like water into the bowl. We'll add it here and then put a top on it and just kind of let it cook down. See, the tomatoes are getting soft. Almost there. We're gonna add our spices in actually now.
Coriander?
Coriander powder, just a pinch. A little bit of that chili powder. Oh, and then that garam masala that we had. Just put a lid back on for a few more minutes. Almost there.
Now here's the method that we came up with. I've got these skewers, the same ones I use to make my gyro with. And normally the chicken is cooked on a skewer in a tandoor oven, really hot and fast. So to replicate that at home, we're going to add the chickens to these skewers, a little space in between, as flat as possible, trying to minimize any chicken from hanging off of it too much. Now, one thing we forgot to do is oil the bottom of the sizzle platter, just to kind of prevent any sticking. Alternatively to the skewer, you can cook this on a sheet tray on a greased wire rack and just place the chicken on top of that. Now the oven's preheating, and we're gonna place that chicken right below the broiler on the second rack, and we're just going to allow the chicken to develop color on that one side. It should take a couple of minutes. While it does that, we can check on our tomatoes, which have been cooking for about 30 minutes on the heat. Now these tomatoes have completely broken down. But Akshay thought that the tomatoes were a touch lacking, so this is when we adjust with just some plain tomato puree, about 1 spoonful, which is also gonna help adjust the color as well. You want it to be a bit darker than this, a nice red color before you add the cream. After about a few minutes, we check back on the chicken and we give it a rotate. Now, like I said, we forgot to oil the bottom of the tray, so you get a little bit of stickage, but you're not gonna do that. You're gonna grease your pan or use a greased wire rack, right? So that's some nice color on the chicken. It's rotated. We're gonna pop that back under the broiler and get the other side browned. Then after a few more minutes, the chicken is basically cooked, and you can go even further on the color, but we're gonna pull this out. We can set that chicken off from the back of the stove to rest while we process the tomatoes. Now Akshay chose a fine mesh strainer to do this. Just transfer the tomatoes to the strainer and with a spoon start pressing the mix to strain out all the seeds and to capture all of that puree in a pot beneath it. And you're left with this really incredible luscious sauce, which we're then going to reduce down to the proper consistency.
So we're gonna add our heavy cream down to this. I would say like 2 tablespoons. We have to add a pinch of sugar into this. So when we do the fenugreek leaves, it comes like this. You kind of put it in the hand as such. You kind of want to just crush it in your hand and kind of like dust it into the dish like this.
Now to get the chicken into the pot, he twists the chicken first to release them and then pushes them off to prevent them from tearing. We're just gonna let that finish cooking and reducing until the sauce is beautifully thick and the chicken is nice and tender and juicy. And is that the consistency, or are we still going thicker?
We're gonna go a little bit thicker, but it's like getting there.
Just like tomato sauce, you have to reduce out the water until it's what you want.
I would say we can add a little bit of butter to this.
Next up, for the garlic naan, we need to create a little garlic and cilantro topping. So I'm gonna take some cilantro leaves and chop them up finely, toss them into a bowl, and then I'm gonna take about 2 cloves of garlic and mince them up super finely and just combine the cilantro and the garlic. Then Akshay is just gonna prep some of these little ginger spears that are gonna garnish the butter chicken. The naan setup is what? It's our dough, it's our flour, garlic and cilantro and melted butter, which is optional. You could just make naan with this stuff.
So the butter is to finish, but we're also gonna maybe need a little bit on our fingers when we're pressing down. We will see how it goes. If you don't want to do that, yeah, you can just use then a neutral oil like canola oil. So for this one, for the fingers, just gonna put some flour on one side of the naan. Press our fingers down, and we just want to really make sure that the entire dough is as consistent as possible in thickness. Yeah, I put a little of the ghee on my fingers, and now just kind of press all the edges down, and then I'm just gonna pick it up and slap it a little bit. A little bit of the garlic and cilantro.
Now usually naan is then slapped onto a wall of a ripping hot tandoor, but at home, just like a pizza, we can just launch it right into the oven onto a pizza steel right below the broiler. Look at it.
Oh yeah, bubbling. That's what you want in a naan. That's literally it.
Should take about a minute or two to cook.
This is probably the best looking naan I've ever seen come out of a naan tandoor oven.
That's because you're working with the homie today. We're just gonna finish the naan with a touch more ghee, and then you've got a truly incredible garlic naan at home, no tandoor oven.
The video name should be, do you need a tandoor? Is tandoor fugazi?
Now our buttered chicken is ready to serve. The sauce is perfect and thick. We can plate it in a small bowl and just top each piece of chicken with a garnish of a little ginger spear and some cilantro leaves. Now the smells in the kitchen are incredible. That sauce is luscious and beautiful. This is a huge success.
Like that naan looks like it came out of a restaurant, for real.
You never seen like this before.
Gorgeous.
In the home kitchen, not an Indian restaurant, authentic naan and butter chicken. Let's go. No utensils, right?
No utensils, no forks, no knives. Or you're going like all in.
That's how you do it, no?
I mean...
You scarpetta with the sauce and you got a bite.
I would say I make my ancestors proud.
I know you're gonna be bothered when I say this. Between the acidity and the color I see, there's a slight heat at the end. I get hints of like buffalo sauce. Do you get that? The butter, you know what I mean? Like,
guess, yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Like my brain has to.
Now I can't unsee it.
My brain has to connect it with something, but like, guess what? Buffalo sauce is my favorite thing in the goddamn world.
I've never thought of that in my life, and now I can't unsee it. This is, you actually
Indian buffalo chicken.
You might have actually just ruined my entire life. Let me taste it again. Now.
I gotta say, I've ordered a lot of like takeout Indian. It's never good like this. You guys gotta taste what I just tried. Are you gonna hook us up with a recipe for this? Don't get smart with me.
Okay. I've given you a hard day today, so yes.
Yeah.
I owe you that much.
This guy likes to cook before cameras rolling. Recipe's gonna be down in the description. Tell them where to find you.
I'm cooking every day at Junoon restaurant in Chelsea Flatiron and Jazba restaurant in the East Village. And
if you go eat at his restaurant and you ask him, can you please give me a naan making tutorial? He'll take you into the back. It's because you know me, right? He'll take you into the back, show you how to make naan in a tandoor oven.
What should we use as like the secret word?
Tortellini.
Okay.
Or
Scarpetta.
you say, show me how to make that Italian garlic bread. If you see Akshay, you say, show me Italian garlic bread, he's gonna make you garlic naan. Go in the back.
Done. All right.
That's all that we have today. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourself and go feed yourself.
That's very dangerous.